Today's DACA decision prompted a lot of reaction, as you can imagine, from all over the country.
Joining us now with more is Illinois Senator Dick Durbin. Senator, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it this evening. Let's talk a little bit about DACA. By the ruling today from the Supreme Court, they sent it back, saying that the president's proposal wasn't quite right. They didn't necessarily strike down the whole thing, just kind of gave him an idea of how he should do it differently. So this is not over yet.
No, it's not over yet. I introduced the DREAM Act, the original bill, 20 years ago. This battle has been waged at so many different levels, but this is an historic moment. And for the record, incidentally, the DREAM Act started in the city of Chicago with a Korean girl who came here undocumented. And that was what led to our introducing this legislation. But this isn't over. It isn't over until we pass a law and make it clear. And we've had the pledge by Joe Biden. He said it publicly as soon as the Supreme Court ruled that as soon as he is elected president, his first priority is immigration reform to fix this broken system.
But Senator,
Sadly,
what if he is not
President
elected? Senator, what if he is not elected?
Well, I hope that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, the Republicans, will take a look at what Republicans think about the Dreamers. They support them as much as Democrats do. This is a universal feeling that these young people deserve a chance. Is it an uphill battle with this president? You bet it is.
So Justice Clarence Thomas wrote, Senator, in the dissent, the court could have made clear the solution must come from the legislative branch, essentially not the court. You've been an integral part of this since the jump, as you point out, but it begs the question, why has this been an issue for so long, and why is it so hard for Congress to come up with some agreement or any agreement on this?
It's hard to imagine that a nation of immigrants like the United States has such tough times with immigration policy, but throughout our history we have. There have been periods of times where we excluded people from different parts of the world and different countries. You saw with this president his treatment of Muslims who wanted to come to the United States. We have gone through this battle over and over again. So we started with the Dreamers, believing they told the best story. But I agree with the young woman who said, my mother is a good person too, and we know that. So we should have comprehensive immigration reform that gives these young people a path to citizenship, but doesn't forget the goodness of the families that they're part of.
Let's talk a little bit about John Bolton's book, which is set to come out next week. We've heard a lot about the excerpts that have going on. As we know, John Bolton, former national security advisor to Donald Trump. A lot of things have been said about this book. We know that Donald Trump is going to court to try to keep it from coming out, put a restraining order on it. He said that Bolton is a sick puppy and a wacko. What do you think about what you've heard that is coming out in this book? A lot of bombshells coming out saying that Ukraine was just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, let me tell you, there are things in that book, if they are true, that are horrible but not surprising. They're consistent with what we've heard about this president behind closed doors. And if you want to become the most despicable, traitorous person in America, leave his staff, and you will find tweets that describe you as such. I have never been a big fan of Mr. Bolton. I don't know if what he said is true, but the bottom line is I'm very concerned about our foreign policy in the course of this nation, unless we have leadership that is principled.
And the House wanted him to testify during the impeachment hearings. And as you see now from this information, he did have a lot of information. Is there any, way that we could get, anything can come of that? Or are you looking back on that as far as this?
Well, if you'll remember, in the Senate impeachment trial, we tried to bring in documents and witnesses, and the Republicans said, not one single document, not one single witness. We're going to get this over with. And let's be honest, we have 4.5 months before an election. That is going to be the focus of America's attention. The impeachment trial is not. That is part of history. This book will be part of history as well. The American people will have the last word on November 3rd.
Senator, I'd like to ask you about a comment that made news this week after Republicans released their police reform package. You warned the Senate against taking a token, half-hearted approach. And Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina said the token comment hurt his soul. I know you found him immediately on the Senate floor. What did you tell him?
I told him, listen, I can explain to you what that meant, but it doesn't make a big difference. You're my friend. I respect you. If it hurt you, I apologize. I'm sorry. That's what I said.
You do regret saying that, though, and you understand how he felt about that.
Well, I do now. I did not at the time, and I wanted to make it clear that his friendship over the years has meant so much to me that I wanted to say to him right off the bat, if it offended you in any way, I'm sorry.
Since we are talking about that and using token, and it could be seen as a racist statement, What is going on with society right now in light of the death of George Floyd, the protests and things like that? Will this change America for the better?
It can. It can. There's a potential. If you go out into the streets and meet the people who are peacefully protesting and asking for change, it is a dramatic force. And I can't get over how young it is. Black, white, and brown young people. Downstate in communities that have no minority population, we see hundreds of people showing up, being led by high school juniors, African-American young women who are amazing. They don't even understand the power that they have over these gatherings. But it really is an inspiration to me to look for change in this country. We can move forward and deal with racism. I know we can. And I believe there is a determination. That horrible video of George Floyd, I can't get it out of my mind, and I'm sure your viewers can't either.
The Senate confirmed Justin Walker to the D.C. Appeals Court today, Senator, and it was a pretty contentious confirmation. Republicans are suggesting that for Democrats, this is sour grapes because he will replace a judge who was put on the court by George W. Bush. And so essentially it won't change the balance.
No, it won't change the balance, but I will tell you this. This man is 38 years old. He was judged unanimously unqualified to be on the federal district court bench. He served on that bench for 6 months when his mentor and friend, Senator McConnell of Kentucky, said that he was going to nominate him to the second highest court in the land, the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. He is not prepared for that. He doesn't have the experience as a judge that you look for in that kind of appointment. It is clearly political. And of all things, this man has really made his name in politics opposing the Affordable Care Act, opposing health insurance. Here we are in the middle of a pandemic. Of all times, we ought to have commitments, at least for an open mind, for the judges who are coming on the bench. He is not that person.
All right, Senator Dick Durbin, thank you so much for speaking with us this evening. Be safe, be well.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. Good to see you all.